All right, thank you for joining us for Tuneagers TuneIn concert with Matt the Electrician, who is a very well-known and a very well-traveled all around the world, the United States, Denmark, Europe, Alaska, and even Japan. Was that it? Some point?
A lot of
All over.
Japan. A lot of Japan.
Travel the world. He writes amazing songs. Guys, I'm so happy to bring him to you today at Tuneagers. Matt the Electrician, take it away. What are you going to play for us today?
Well, I will. I'm going to go ahead and play a song about staying up very late at night, since that seems to be at least a theme for someone. So. I remember waiting till the middle of the night to fall asleep, falling like clutching to the sides of the boat that would carry me out into the middle of a world where there's so little left to cling to. I could hear the crickets and the ocean and the thunder and the silence ring, hiding in the shadows by the side of the road with the evergreens, waiting on the flickering broken streetlights, diamonds in the canopy. Say goodnight to all the night owls. Oh, good night. I am no early bird. I am young among the stars, and I know right where you are. I remember hearing that it was what it was when I first arrived. We all got a bridge in our brains that is running from the left to the right. Maybe it doesn't reach the land, so Grandma deal another hand of Tripoli. Say goodnight to all the night owls. Oh, good night. I am no early bird. I am young among the stars, and I know right where you are. Everybody says nothing good ever happens after 3 a.m. And I don't know if good is as good as the good of remembered when I try to close my eyes, light that lingers shows me what I want to see. Say goodnight to all the night owls. Oh, good night. I am no early bird. Say goodnight to all the night owls. Oh, good night. I am no early bird. Say goodnight to all the know right where you are.
Oh, look, the virtual claps are going up. The virtual claps.
Virtual claps.
Questions, guys? Any questions or feedback?
I don't have any questions, but I really enjoyed that. It was really nice.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, that was really cool.
That was so good.
Thank you.
What's your favorite song from all the songs that you've written?
That I have written? Oh gosh. I don't know. It kind of changes all of the time.
What's your favorite song right now?
What's my favorite song right now? It's a great question. Gosh. Probably something from my new record. I just put out a new record, and so as soon as you asked that question, I forgot everything that I've ever written and the names of all of the songs. I had a mini tour 3 weeks ago, and then I did 2 weeks off where I was playing baseball and going to see baseball games, and so like my head is just littered with mostly baseball. But I have a new song that's called, what is it called? It's called Delicate Metal. That's probably my favorite song right now.
Nice. What's the first song you ever wrote?
I wrote a song when I was 16 years old for my girlfriend at the time. Her name was Rainbow, and the song was called Rainbow.
Why don't you perform it for us?
I wouldn't even know how to. I have no idea how to play that song. It's been I'm 52 years old, and I wrote that song when I was 16, and I haven't known how to play it for a long time.
What's the one right after that? Like because I want you to perform the oldest one you can remember.
That's a good question. Yeah, I mean, I wrote a lot of songs when I was a teenager, and honestly, I don't really know how to play any of them. I don't remember almost any of them. Probably in my early 20s, I did. My first record came out in 1998 when I was whatever age I was, 26, I think. And so there's definitely some songs from that record that I still play. But yeah, unfortunately, I don't remember any of the really old ones.
I'm looking at your Spotify right now.
I was doing the same thing.
The oldest album you have is Made for Working. It's 2003.
Well, that's on there. There's one called Home that came out in 99 that should be on there. And
It's not there.
Okay. And then there's one called Baseball Song that came out in 1998, but that's not on Spotify.
That's not there either.
It's not there.
There's Love on the Moon, Favorite One, Jesse's Girl, Train, King of the Losers, Lost, Prison Bones, Little Hands, China Airline, These Boots, Milo, and Diaryland.
Yeah. That's my 2003 record. That was my third album that I put out.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I do have a question.
Sure.
What's your favorite lyric that you've written, and what's your favorite lyric in general that might not be from you?
Let's see. Gosh, I feel like so many of these things change for me all the time, but I do. Yeah, I have the favorite lyric that I've written. The favorite lyric that I've written is probably I wrote a song called It's a Beacon, It's a Bell. And there's a lyric from that song. It's so hard for me to remember my lyrics when I'm not actually playing songs, but there's a line that goes, I love all of my girlfriends. Not in that way, but they were friends and they were girls. Oh gosh, now I can't even remember the next line. It's very sad. It's very sad. Don't get old, y'all. Just don't do it.
Just imagine it's going to happen one day. You're writing all these songs in Tuneagers, and then like fast forward, and you're going to be like, I think it starts on an E chord.
I mean, I I've written, I mean, I've recorded like over 200 songs, but I also write 2 songs every week as part of I'm in these songwriting groups. So I've written thousands and thousands of songs.
That's so crazy.
So on any given day, I feel very lucky if I can remember any of them. But you asked me what my favorite lyric was in somebody else's song. Oh, I always forget the internet exists. Gosh, that is such a handy tool. My kids will remind me sometimes. But my favorite lyric is it's actually been my favorite lyric for a while. And it's from a Devon Sproul song. Do y'all know Devon Sproul?
I know Devon. She's fabulous.
Devon
I
is
do not know who that is.
You should definitely check her out. She has some great records. My favorite of her records is called I Love You Go Easy. And she has a song called The Warning Bell. And the opening line is a great lyric, just as from the point of view of a musician. I love this lyric, but it goes, I'll work a while in music till my money runs out. I don't mind the driving and I like the crowd. On the nights the guitar feels right and I ain't sick of the songs. It's a pretty good job. It's a pretty good job. So that's the opening line, but my favorite line in the song is she goes, I took the Triumph to Keith's tonight. A Triumph is a type of motorcycle, in case you don't know. I took the Triumph to Keith's tonight to celebrate the cooling off. It's like driving the outboard at Tromblond. Out in the lake in the middle of the night, just you and the yodeling loon. Something about moving fast and looking straight up at the moon. And really, it's just that last line. It's the something about moving fast and looking straight up at the moon. I love that line.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
That's really pretty. Thank you.
What else? If you write 2 songs every week, what do you do other than music? Like, what else are you interested in? Do you do any sports?
Yeah, I play baseball. I play on a baseball team, and I watch and listen to a lot of baseball, and I skateboard quite a bit. And that's most of my life is
That's so
baseball.
cool. Actually,
Music.
I have an electric skateboard, so I do that.
Oh, nice, nice, right on.
Well, what else do you got for us? I have a couple questions. I'm going to save them to the very end. But
Okay.
what other song would you like to play for us?
I'll try Delicate Metal just because it's on a different instrument, and so that might be fun or interesting or embarrassing for me. We'll see. I'm not really a banjo player, but I bought a banjo a couple years ago, and so what happens? I buy a lot of instruments that I don't know how to play, and then I kind of pretend that I'm learning how to play them, and then I'll write a song on them, and then I have to figure out how to play it live because I'll put it on a record. And so, and this was also the one I meant. You asked me what my favorite song was, and I think this is one of them right now. There's a brand new one I wrote, but I can't remember the words to it, so I'm not going to do that one. But this one was called Delicate Metal. I had the fantasy of future pettiness. They'll all be sorry when I'm gone. And I am a genius, but misunderstood. Sometimes I feel so down, but I'm a scary home. I did this purposefully, my eyes were open. I never meant to be better than this. A 30-year plan, diversified failure. Looked like I was swinging, but I intended to miss. Please careful. Please be kind. Context delicate. Metal on my mind. This is on stolen time. I had the fantasy of future pettiness. They'll all be sorry when I'm gone. And I am a genius, but misunderstood. Sometimes I feel so down, but I must carry on. Please be careful. Please be kind. Context delicate. Metal on my mind. This is on stolen time.
That was really good. I liked the opening lyric. It felt really relatable. But yeah,
I love how you like sometimes double the melody that you're singing in the guitar or whatever instrument you're playing. That's really cool.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
I just have like a sticky note and I'm taking notes like things.
Yeah, I was going to point that out too. I think it's really quite effective because you only did it on that one part, right? What was the lyric? It was, this is on borrowed,
Stolen time.
this is on stolen time,
Yeah.
right? Because I think if you would have done it like an entire chorus or an entire verse, it would have lost its effectiveness. It's like just that one line, it really puts emphasis on it. I think that's really cool.
Yeah, it's definitely something that's in a lot of my songs. And it's been pointed out to me before. I'm pretty sure I stole it from one of my favorite songwriters and instrumentalists is Taj Mahal. And Taj Mahal does a lot of that. And of course, he got a lot of his stuff from Mississippi John Hurt and Elizabeth Cotten. And so there's a history of that, of kind of playing the melody along with your fingers while you're singing, kind of in country blues. It seems to be real prevalent.
How did you come up with the name Matt the Electrician?
I was an electrician. That was my job.
That was my first guess.
Yeah. It's very simple. Taj Mahal.
This makes me want to play the guitar.
What do you play?
Me, I don't play an instrument right now,
Oh, okay.
but it makes me want to learn the guitar. I've been thinking about it.
Yeah. Guitars are fun. I think all instruments are fun, especially if you don't know how to play them.
I just wanted to get those in there in my chat for you guys to see in case you wanted to take a screenshot or grab those just to listen to, because we're upon the weekend. So if some of these are his influences, Taj Mahal, I remember hearing a record of his right when I first started learning guitar. And then Mississippi John Hurt.
I would, but I'm really busy this weekend with all my training.
That's right. We have a mountain climber here.
Ooh, mountain climbing, fun.
Yeah, high mountains. Hopefully going to Africa on Monday. to climb Mount Kenya, but we did Kilimanjaro before.
Holy moly.
Yeah.
That's what my wife is very into that. She's a backpacker. So
Nice.
the highest one she's climbed is Mount Whitney in California, which is 14,900 something feet though.
Feet. Oh, I don't know how high Kilimanjaro is in feet, but I know in meters it's 5,895.
Yeah, it's what is it? 32,000 feet? Something.
No, probably like 19. I think 19.
Oh, really? It's not okay. Yeah, I forget. Yeah.
Any other requests or questions?
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
So, I've heard like some artists, they have certain times of the day where they're most active, like where they get a lot of tunes out and a lot of lyrics, like their brain is just working. What time of the day is that for you?
I don't really have a time of the day. I kind of it's all over the map. There was an era where I mostly wrote late at night. I have two kids that are now they're grown up. They're 23 and 20. But when they were little and everybody would go to sleep, I would go out on the porch and I would write a lot. So at that time I was writing a lot late at night. But then they all got older and left the house, and my wife works out of the house. And so I found that I would write mostly in the first part of the day, like not early in the morning, but I would get up and I go for a swim usually and do some exercise. And then I would write a lot then. But I also love to run. I forgot that's another thing that I do. And I tend to run in the late afternoon here in Texas because it's when it's the hottest. It's like 5 o'clock in the afternoon. And it gets yesterday I went for a run and it was like 100 degrees Fahrenheit, which is what, 30, 33, 32,
36 or something. Yeah.
36 Celsius. Yeah. So I like to go for a run then. It's kind of like it's like being doing hot yoga or something. So you go and you sweat. And when I run in the late afternoon, I like to write in my head when I'm running. So I write a lot of songs while I'm running.
How do you remember them before you get home?
I have to repeat them over and over in my head while I'm running. So I'll write a line at a time. And I also use it though sometimes to work out, like if I have a song where I've written most of it, but I don't like maybe the second verse, is I'll just take the second verse with me in my head when I go, and I'll just focus on that while I'm running. So when I run, I never listen to, I never have headphones or anything like that. I like to listen to the sounds around me, and I find that it's a really good, something about the endorphins in my brain and the exercise makes me want to kind of figure out the puzzle in my head.
Sorry, go ahead.
What really inspires you to make music?
I think, well, I mean, to me, it's a couple different things. And I think I tend to focus a lot on lyrics, and I just love kind of playing with words. That's just something that's made me happy since I was a kid. And so just kind of really like actively playing with words is what I find fun. It gets less fun as you kind of start feeling that, oh, maybe I have a song here. Oh, maybe it's good. And then all the joy leaves. So for me, the mystery or the catch is to try to maintain that play for as long as I can. So the thing that inspires me, I don't know. It's just, it's inside me. I just love the idea of kind of arranging words in different formats and seeing what happens with them. With the music, I'm just such a fan of music and so many different styles that I'm always trying to figure out how to make things that I would also like. You know what I mean? Like not necessarily copying musicians that I like, but like last night, my son and I, he's home from college for a few days in the summer, and we watched, have you ever seen the movie Clueless?
Yes.
It's an okay movie. It's not as good as I remembered it, but it's an okay movie, I think. My son had never seen it, and so we watched it, and it's an adaptation of Emma, right? By who's that? Is that one of the Brontes or
I think so. Charlotte, is it Charlotte Bronte?
Maybe.
And,
I guess I
yeah.
get them all confused. But so anyway, we watched that, and it has like a great kind of early '90s soundtrack. It's all these songs, and there's some '80s songs in there too. And at the end, they play "Tenderness." You know the song "Tenderness," not by Otis Redding, but right, Jane Austen. The song "Tenderness" by General Public, and General Public was a band in the '80s with members from English Beat. I think it was members of English Beat and maybe what was it? One of the guys from Rankin Roger. It was like reggae ska in the UK kind of scene in the '80s. Anyway, that song came on like at the end of the movie, and I love English Beat. I love General Public. I love there's a kind of a joy and a brightness to that era of music for me, and when I hear that like stays with me for the next couple days. And so if I were to write a song today, which, I have to write a song today. That's actually, I have homework for one of the song groups I'm in. So by midnight tonight, I will have written a song. And I would guess that I'm probably going to write it semi in the style of General Public, because that song is still like running around in my head from last night, hearing it from that movie.
Okay, so another question piggyback off of that. Because you like to play with words, do most of your songs like start off as poems?
No, I mean, when I write, I tend to do it. You know how people ask all the time if people write words or music first. I don't really do either. I always kind of write. I always write with an instrument in my hand. So it's like I'll have my instrument and then I'll have my notebook, and I'm kind of doing both at the same time. And I don't really, these days more and more, but for a long time, I don't really sit down to write a song about something. I don't have a theme in mind. I don't have much of anything in mind except for this homework that I have twice a week is a title. It's a song title game, and I'm in several of them, one that another person runs and one that I run. And so you get a title in your email. And so I don't remember the title for this week, the one that's due tonight, but somebody just turned it in. So I'll take a look and see what it is. Whoa, there's a lot of them in there. That's crazy.
Yeah, I think that's part of the pressure. I think we were actually in one of the same games for a while, and I can introduce this sort of thing to you guys within the club as a weekly add-on impetus challenge. But let me ask you, because I learned a really important lesson playing a sort of song game like that with you, Matt. What do you think the most important lesson in keeping that deadline and seeing those other songs come in? Like, what does that make you feel? And how has it changed your writing over time?
Yeah, I mean, to me, the biggest lesson, and I kind of gleaned it on my own, but I was also straight up told it by, over time by several people that were running the group, is that the idea is to kind of learn how to write a bad song, which is not to say that we don't all already know how to write a bad song, but it's the actual finishing of a bad song. So it's knowing you have something due and just writing it and thinking, maybe I don't like this. And you have that option right there to change course, write something different, write something new. But sometimes you get 6 different starts going and nothing's happening. And so to me, it's really important to just to finish one, to just write one all the way through, send it into the group, and then immediately forget about it. And I don't know if the metaphor would be detoxifying but it's just getting garbage out of your way. Oftentimes when I'm doing game stuff, I'll do that. I'll write a terrible song, and then the next day I'll write something that I really like. And it's like I got whatever that garbage was that was out of the way. But the other main thing is really just remembering again that it's all play and it's all for fun, because it can be easy to kind of attach a lot of preciousness to art in general, to music, to poetry, to visual art. And the fact is, it's like we just get to make stuff up. Like if we're lucky, we get to get paid for making stuff up, and that's crazy. So for me, it's very important to not take it too seriously. which is to say, like I think with all of this, whether you're a painter or a novelist or a poet, I'm not saying that you carry that frame of mind through the entire process, but I'm saying while you're writing that song, to me, it's very important to not take it very seriously. Then when I'm done, I can look back at it and go, oh, I actually like the chorus from this and the last verse, but nothing else. And that's when the editor comes in. But it's keeping that editor part of your brain out of the process of creating.
Oh, I love how you said that. I think Sela said it in another way using a not so pretty word. I'll just say, she said, your song is not a precious baby. It's a piece of poop.
Yeah.
And if you can do that and write it, I think we also forget that, like, hello, you can finish something and you're the one that made it. You just make another version, and another version and another version of it, it's not like finish it and it's bound and forever going to be that way to the world.
Yeah.
It's living and it's breathing, just like we are. Play us another song, Matt.
Sure. Let me see if I'm in tune. All right. Well, I'll play this one because this is one that I wrote while I was out running. I went for a run in Austin a couple years back, 3 years, 4 years ago, and or longer, I guess. And absolutely, thanks for coming. And also, I just realized that so the first song I played, Night Owls, and then this song are both from a record that I put out in 2021 that the features a Danish friend of mine, and she actually co-wrote a song that's on that record, whose name is Ida Vinu. And I flew her over to Portland, Oregon, and she made the record with me there. So she sings some backup on this song on the record. But I wrote this while I was out for a run, and it kept cycling through my head over and over and over while I was running, and I managed to memorize most of it. But I wrote this pretty much the entire song while just running around Town Lake in Austin. I told you that I didn't like to dance, but I do. I really love it, it's true. But I'm embarrassed in front of you. I act a lot tougher than I am in front of you. And pretty much my whole life through, I have forgotten what it is I do. I'm not angry anymore. I'm so angry all the time, and all the energy, all the people been so good to me. I'm not angry. I'm no angry. Told you that I never really cry, but that's a lie. I crossed my heart, I hope to die. I didn't mean it, I cry. On the sidewalk or in a rainstorm, I'm the scarecrow standing in the corn, hanging on lamppost with my umbrella hanging. I got my tap shoes and I'm so happy singing songs sung blue. And dear Frank Mills, the sound of music spinning on the Swiss sails. Officer Grubke if I was a rich man. Conrad Birdie kissing girls cause he can. I'm not angry anymore. I'm so angry all the time, and all the energy, and I'm not angry anymore. I'm so angry all the time, and all the energy, all the people been so good to me. I'm not angry. I'm not angry. I'm so angry. Told you that I didn't like to dance, but I do. I really love it, it's true. But I'm embarrassed in front of you.
Okay, guys. Theory question here. We learned about the natural minor scale this week. Can you play just a little piece where you do your, don't tell us what scale you're playing. I want everybody to put in the chat what you think it is with your ears, Zuri, Meliki, and Journey. Given our challenge, you have a couple times when you repeat, you actually add to it. You did the entire run at the very end. Boom. What is it, guys? Major or natural minor? Put it in the chat.
Can you do it again?
Put it in context, yeah. Put it in.
Oh, sorry. Put it in context.
Earlier on, you just do 5 degrees.
Right.
Yes, it is major. And now for bonus points, guys. Tell me what degrees they are. Can you play the first time you play it? I think you only do 4 or 5 degrees.
Oh, do I?
Uh-huh. What degrees are they? What is it starting on? Anybody? Remember our Roman numerals.
Can you do it one more time?
Sure.
That's just starting on 1 and going to the 5th, no?
Yeah, ding, 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 Maliki. You get virtual cookies. Do, re, mi, fa, so, fa, mi, re, do. And then at the very end, do, re, mi, fa, so, la, ti, do. I think you went all the way up, right?
Yeah, I do. I mean, I don't. On the record, it completes to the root or the octave, but I just go do 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 do. Oh no, maybe I do. Yeah, I do. I complete it.
Yeah, cool. I'm gonna have to post that one in the challenge so it can be
I
a
think
reference file.
I had a weird idea a while ago, and this kind of proves that it could work. That if you put an entire scale in a song as a beat, like, because the way that you're playing it, it could sound like if you just put that in a bridge, it would sound good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally.
I have one more question. Because you've written so many different songs, how do you like differentiate them? Like, how do you make them different from each other? Or does it kind of just like you forget the last song you made and then make a new one, and then it's like, oh wait, I made that already?
Well, I mean, I think there is. I think what you're asking is like, right. There's always the chance that you're going to kind of repeat yourself, and you're going to create another song that sounds similar. And I do something I've noticed. I think the longer I do this, the older I get, and the more I'm surrounded by other songwriters, is that we all do that a little bit. Like everybody, whether it's me or Joni Mitchell or Tom Waits or Billie Eilish, or everybody does it to a certain extent, especially, and I think there's a positive to that, which if you're doing that, you have maybe found a voice that is your own voice, kind of, so something that you actually like enough that you want to repeat. And so for some people it's chord progressions or keys. For a lot of us singers, we end up writing a lot in the same key because that's where our voice works good. And so for me, I tend to write a lot in B flat, which ends up being a lame thing to try to play on the guitar. So I tend to write in G or C form. And as long as I'm within, A to C, my voice works pretty well. If it gets much lower than A, it gets darker and kind of quieter. And if it gets much higher than C, it gets not pretty for anyone. So I think a lot of people do that. I use a capo to get where I want to go. But then also I think there are thematic things. My wife pointed out the other day that I have the word scared in a lot of my songs. And I was like, sure, that I don't like horror movies. I don't like being scared. So maybe that I was a scared little kid. So I do think there are things you repeat, and I definitely notice that from time to time. I'll put out a record and think, oh yeah, this one song reminds me of this other song that's older. I don't think there's any way around that, and I don't know that it's something that is that important. Again, the more I've noticed it in the work of people that we consider the best songwriters ever, I see the same thing. You know, I think it's, I don't think it's a detriment, really.
I have a question that's kind of similar to this, but when you're trying to write an album, do you try to make most of the songs sound similar? Because I know, like in certain albums, people try to, I forget the word, but you know, when the songs blend into each other.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, do you try and do that?
Not usually, but sometimes I have created albums that were a little more thematic, not only lyrically, but also kind of harmonically. In fact, the record that song Dance is on, which also has the first song I played, Night Owls, I actually built most of the record around a very similar harmonic pattern. And I knew there was a guitar player from here in Austin that I knew I wanted to be the guitar player on the record, and he's a pretty amazing jazz guitarist. And so while I was writing the record, he and I spent a lot of time just kind of getting together and playing music. And he had actually showed me the form of this chord I used in Night Owls, which is it sounds like a diminished chord to me. It's possible it's augmented, but it sounds diminished. And he had taught me this specific fingering of this chord, which I knew different fingerings of diminished chords, kind of like this one that you can slide up that's more like a D, but this one was close to a C, and it resolves real easily into the C. So you can go like that, right?
Yeah, it'd be diminished.
Biblioteket lukker om 15 minutter.
All right.
Yeah, biblioteko. I'm in the library.
Nice.
And it closes in 15 minutes.
But yeah, so that chord was a chord that he kind of taught me the shaping of that chord, and I used it in that song. And on this record, there's, you know, these they're certainly not the most advanced kind of jazz chordings, but this minor 7 that's just that, you know, you're basically just holding it straight. You're just doing everything except you're not hitting the top string usually. And then this is a what do you call it? It's a minor 7/9, or a major 7, not major 7. It's a 7/9. Yeah, so like a minor 7/9. So almost every song on the record, I kind of sneak those in. And so there's this dance goes like this, and I wrote another song that is basically the same chord progression entirely. And that's really the first time. That was my 10th record that I've put out, and it was the first time I really had a theme that I didn't think about it too hard until I was actually putting all the songs together, and then I kind of realized, like, oh, look what I did. And so once I saw that it was there, I kind of, instead of getting freaked out and rewriting a bunch of stuff, I decided to kind of lean into it and add more of those chords and more of those kind of harmonic progressions to the record.
I think it might help too. You mentioned earlier kind of buying other instruments, not that it's always in our budget too, but maybe just approaching a different instrument, like a different tuning, or you said you had a banjo, or you have a tendency to buy instruments and then have to force yourself to learn them so that you can write a song on them. So that probably changes the way you approach writing as well, I would think.
Oh yeah. I mean, that's kind of a good old standard. If you feel like you're running into kind of writer's block of any kind, is if you're a guitar player, sit down at the piano. If you're a piano player, pick up a guitar, because you don't actually have to know how to play it to write a song on it, you know, because all you need, you can write a 1-string, you know, 1-note song like that. That's not unheard of.
Yeah, Maliki, this will be our last question because we're at time.
Not really a question, but yeah, I agree with the, like, you can go to any instrument and just like do stuff, and I like going to different instruments is really cool. Like I just found a chord that I would have never thought of on guitar by just like putting all my fingers on like one fret. And like wait a minute, this sounds awesome.
Yeah.
What's really interesting, not a lot of people know this about me. When I was younger, I actually used to play guitar. When I was like way younger, when I was like 7 years old, and I played for 3 years, and then I stopped playing because my teacher moved away, and I didn't want to play with another teacher because I loved my teacher. And then I started practicing a little bit more, but then my string broke. I'm too lazy.
That ended her career.
I'm too lazy to get it fixed, so now I do piano.
Okay, guys, we're at time. Let's give a big thank you for Matt for joining us at Tuneagers, for playing your wonderful songs and giving us honest insight into your process. I hope that we can have you back again. And guys, I put his website. It includes all of his links to like Spotify and his store and all of those Facebook, Instagram, all the stuff out there. So you can find him. And we'd love to stay in contact with you, Matt.
Yeah, totally. Thanks for having me, all.